you see our All-America wide receivers, Heisman finalist D.D. Westbrook. We had some fun with him and Baker Mayfield here in the studio over the weekend. It was before some bad headlines from the past came out. Western Michigan's Corey Davis also. Westbrook, one of the few to appear on every ballot among all of our voters, and hard to argue with that after he took off following the two Sooners losses and became a bona fide superstar. Hard to do a Heisman finalist season at wide receiver, but he sure poured it on, BJ, huh?
Yeah, he did. And this young man, as you said, first on the scene after that 1-2 start for the Sooners, had done nothing in those first three ball games, hampered a little bit with a hamstring injury, and then he just mashed out and peeled out. I mean, it was just unbelievable to watch him work. And whether it was a short pass or a long pass, he was leaving everyone behind. And what really stands out to me is that West Virginia ball game. I mean, there are a number of plays you can choose from, but that West Virginia game, the first touchdown he scored, a little bubble screen pass to the wide receiver out there, and it's in the snow, and he is fighting off would-be tacklers. A linebacker comes there, and he's able to stiff arm him. This guy's a lot stronger than he looks. You're just talking about Pumphrey. Well, Westbrook's has some of that strength, and he has speed that's fast all over this world.
Yeah, he's a very smooth, fluid route runner. You watch him eat up cushions. He looks very comfortable. His hips are good, so he can drop down and change direction and be able to create some space for his quarterback, Baker Mayfield, to be able to get the football. You mentioned no touchdowns in those first three games. He had one or more down the stretch in every single game. Averaged 20 yards per catch in 8 games this season. He's a guy, to your point, that could catch smoke routes at the line of scrimmage or can stretch the field vertically. He's a complete back. He is a little undersized for the next level. He does play tougher than he is, but he might get jammed around and pushed a little bit. But when he gets some space and he can get out there, he really does a nice job of getting himself open.
All right, well, this next guy who's on our first team as well, he looked like a man among boys at times, watching some of those MAC games go by. And Corey Davis from undefeated Western Michigan has etched his name in the record books, now the all-time leader in receiving yards. Also the most touchdown grabs in the nation this year when it was all said and done with 18. Randy, you got to see him up close, and he was torching teams.
Hey, you know, we talked about Donnell Pumphrey. Everybody knows he's going to run the ball. Well, everybody Western Michigan played knew that Zach Terrell, every single pass, his first read was to get the ball to Corey Davis. His second read, maybe get the ball to Corey Davis. Kid's 6'3", he's 213, and it's not just the routes. He does that well. It's not just the hands. He's got very good hands. What separates this kid is his ability to go in the air and get the ball. He can do it behind the back, over the top. He's unbelievable going for the ball.
He's fun to watch. And at 6'3", the one thing that will make Wisconsin's secondary coach nervous is that length. And he has the ability to put his body in the right position. He'll go get the football. But I agree with you, Randy. Watching him, he's so fun to watch because once he catches the football, you know, he doesn't play like a lanky 6'3". This is a quick, sudden guy that can really create some separation and gets away from the defender. He's fun to watch, and he averages 15 yards every time he catches the ball. They're going to Corey Davis.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Another guy who was on a couple of the first-team ballots, and Aaron, one of the ballots that we're talking about here, Zay Jones, who, I mean, yards per catch, a little further down there, but the number of receptions, an FBS record. For not only a single season like you see there, but for a career. And hardly anyone's ever heard of him.
There's nobody in the game in the history of this sport that's been as productive over a career or in a single season than Zay Jones. Led the nation this year in 4 categories: receptions, receptions yard, receptions per game, reception yards per game. He was the go-to guy. We talked earlier, Dennis, you hear him talk about Baker Mayfield, talking about the productivity that he had. Well, Zay Jones is the equivalent to that. He's not the biggest guy. I was down in Atlanta with him at the award show. He didn't win the Blitnikoff. He was a little upset about that. He's a proud guy. But when they needed something to have happen, a lot like Corey Davis, they went to him and he came up with a big catch.
399 catches in his career. That's just ridiculous.
Well, you just look at the reception totals, and he's so far out ahead.
Of everybody.
It's insane.